My first business was an Amazon business. I used to bring products from China all the way to the US and sell them in the US on Amazon US. I'm talking about 10, maybe 12 years ago. This is when Amazon was not popular, at least in Europe. It was not popular in Europe. Amazon in Spain maybe didn't exist at that time. In Japan for sure didn't exist. And yeah, that was my first business. I took a course from these guys that had Amazon shops, and I tried to learn how to make an Amazon business work. I got to the point where I started actually making some sales, and it took me some time to learn everything, and and the thing that you find hard to deal with is not necessarily the steps, is your mental barriers. You think it's hard, and you think this is. You think it's complex and you're making it hard for yourself, but actually it's just, so it was not that hard. Now that I remember, it was not that difficult, right? So I used to talk with a Chinese manufacturer. I used to label it, put the package. I used to sell items related to sports, like knee braces and stuff like that. I label that and then send all the stuff to the US, and Amazon FBA would actually deliver to the people. You just need to handle the business. Start making some sales. I had no idea how to do any marketing, nothing. You know what I mean? And but I did it. I did it. I was motivated. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to make money. I wanted to do business. So here you go. So I did that for a while. Started making some sales, but then things started to go a little bit south because I didn't consider the cost of storage and the cost of marketing. I really didn't understand marketing. I really didn't think that marketing would take so much, it would require so much money to be invested in that. I was young. I'm talking about I was in my 20s, early 20s, right? And so that slowed me down. And then at that time, after a couple of years into this, I started working with a person that had a lot of more experience than me in businesses, and I had to work with him. And I started working with him because I had to find basically a job. I had to work since my business was not making me any money. Right? I used to do other jobs before. I had some money in the bank because I've worked before as a sales in sales, and events, all that. So I made some money, and I started my business. Obviously, spend money on my business, the Amazon thing. And then when I moved to Marbella, I started working with this person, and his office was a marketing office. We used to invite people to open trading accounts, right? So I was working in sales, and at the same time by night trying to figure out how to make my Amazon business profitable. I started to do some landing pages, started to drive traffic from Facebook because I was paying traffic on Amazon. It was super expensive. Started trying to drive some traffic from Facebook to my landing page and direct that to Amazon. But anyways, I did that for a little while, and but here comes the mistake that I made, is that in this new job that I started with this person, obviously I was just as a salesperson making some sales, but then I got promoted. So this guy saw some potential in me, so he promoted me to sales manager because I had some ability selling all that, and I spoke languages, and I was fairly an intelligent person. I was not dumb and stupid. So he saw potential in me, and he promoted me to sales manager. And then we started the business got bigger and bigger and bigger. And what I did is that I slowly started to neglect my Amazon business. I started to lose faith in it, and I started to see the negative side of it. And at the same time, I was busy with my job. Now that I'm a manager, working, I was making a decent salary, but I was working. I was working a lot. I came back home tired. I didn't have so much time to make food for myself. I was single at that time. I didn't have so much time to make food, to go to the gym, and then do the Amazon. It was just a headache. But that was a mistake. The mistake that I did is that I ended up stopping the Amazon business. I ended up stopping Amazon because I basically got a little bit manipulated by this person as well. He influenced me. Let's put it this way. He painted a very bright picture for me and him in this business, and that we're gonna make money. And in fact, the business was growing, and I was learning a lot. I was hiring people. I ended up being a manager, the whole manager, like general manager of this little firm. And we had like more than between 20 to 30 employees, sales team, retention team, administration team, HR. Anyways, we had 2 offices, one in Spain and another one in Portugal, if I remember correctly. And we were thinking about making an office in Morocco. So the business was running, was running well. And I started obviously making bigger salary. And then slowly I started neglecting my Amazon business. Even though I was making some sales, I just dropped it. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with this Amazon. It's a headache. I'm just gonna go all the way with this marketing thing, with this sales business marketing that we're doing right here, introducing people to trading accounts, working with different brokers, and I'm gonna make money here. This is my the way that is gonna lead me to riches and becoming a millionaire. Big mistake. Never put all your hopes in somebody else's business. In a business where you have no shares, where you're not the owner. Do you understand? You're not the owner. So even if the Amazon thing is making you close to zero, actually you're losing money on it because you have to pay storage, you have to pay marketing, you have to pay maintenance shit. But still, it's your thing. If you succeed, it's gonna be 100% yours. If you make even $1,000 from that, that's $1,000 that is yours. Nobody else is involved with it. But on the other side, even if you're making 10, 20K per month, but there's other factors involved in that business, and that business could crumble at any moment. You could get fired, something could happen, a problem could arise, anything could happen, And this is exactly what happened. So just like that business crumbled because of mistakes that this owner did, and he got actually in trouble with the law. And everything that I've built for 4 years or 5 years working with him went to toilet. And I learned my lesson. If you're gonna build something that is yours. There's no problem with working for somebody else, but on the side work what's yours. And if you have something that is yours, and this is what you want, grow this. Don't neglect it just because you're making money somewhere else. Don't be a slave to money. Don't let money control your decisions. Yes, everybody wants to make money, but don't let the money control your decisions. Freedom is more important than money. Independence is more important than just making a bigger amount of money somewhere else where you're not independent. Okay? And so after this business has crumbled and I got out of it with close to zero, with nothing basically. Luckily, I was doing a course, a master degree, in my last year in this business. I started a master degree in trading, okay, by a guy named Hami Kabbaj. He's a guy that has a school in Dubai. He's an ex-trader, and he's a well-known guy in the French world, and he has some books, and he was a trader. So he had a strategy. I took his course. I did his course, and I learned from him first, and I learned from other people how to trade, basically, how to do the trading, how to take money out from the markets, from the trading. So I used to trade forex. I used to trade gold and crude oil mainly. These are the things that I used to trade. In forex, I used to trade Euro GPY, USD GPY, Euro dollar, and the pound dollar, and pound yen. This is what I used to trade. And so what happened with the trading is that I started, and as everybody, I started losing money. Even when you have a strategy, when you know what you're doing, but you lose money because of psychology. Trading is all about psychology. So for 4 years, I was just losing money, making some, losing more, and didn't go anywhere for that 4 years. And I stayed consistent. I learned from my previous mistake. I said, now I'm gonna grab this thing, and I will never stop. I don't care what happens, I will never stop. And they were hard 4 years, because when you have living costs and you're not making any money, but on the other side you're actually trading in the morning. These are my screens here, what I used to do the trading. You're trading in the morning, you are wasting or spending money, spending time in front of the markets, in front of the screens, but at the same time you're not making any money. But you have costs, of living. You have to pay your rent, you have to pay your food, you have to support your family. So I had always to find things to do on the side to make money. So I did many jobs. I worked as a salesperson, selling alarms in the street. I worked with some other guy doing some marketing stuff, until I said enough. I'm sick of people. Honestly, I'm sick of working with people, because unfortunately the people that I've met or the jobs that I've had, I was never happy with that. I was never happy with what I was, because people sometimes just funny, man. They just will squeeze out of you whatever they can. They will always put their benefit first. They're not fair. People are not fair in the business world. At least that was my experience, and maybe I was attracting that because I was chasing the money, not focused on me. Anyways, so there's so many jobs on the side, until the point where I started, making some money with the trading. Started making some money, but at the same time, when I said I had enough of people, I started working for myself as a coach. So as you know, I was a fighter before. I was a Muay Thai fighter, kickboxing, K1 fighter. I had a couple of fights and some amateur fights. I stopped fighting because I got injured and I had to start working, supporting my family. And then I couldn't fight anymore. And but I stayed in the art for many years, and I was still practicing. I had the idea of coming back to fighting when I came to Marbella, when I met a coach here that I liked, but it didn't work out because I always had something to deal with, and it's not that difficult. It's not that easy, to do it professionally. Anyways, so let's go back to the trading. So I was starting to coach people, teach people how to fight, Muay Thai, kickboxing, all that, boxing, and trading at the same time. I found some kind of balance until last month actually, last 6 months of the fourth year me trading. I started doing some money, started making some money. I got funded by 2 companies. One of them gave me 25K, the other one gave me 100K to trade with. And then at this time, I discovered that after I got funded, I discovered that I couldn't trade anymore. Because trading does not align with my values as a Muslim man. I discovered that it's completely what we call haram, completely forbidden to trade. Even some people out there will tell you, no, it's okay, you can trade Forex, it's just coins, you buy and sell currency. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Do your research. You're wrong. When you trade, there is no exchange of value. There's no exchange of value whatsoever. And the traders do not bring liquidity to the market. It's irrelevant. The liquidity that they bring to the market is completely irrelevant. They're actually just making things harder. Do your research. But anyways, so I stopped. I completely stopped. This was a hard pill to swallow for me. And this could drop anybody to a state of depression, to a state of self-hate. And I was there for a little bit. I was not really self-hate, but I was just down a little bit. Because I've just spent a few years developing this skill, developing this business. This was going to be the thing that was going to give me my freedom and the riches that I desire. And that's how I was going to fulfill my vision and show my potential make money, and start doing other stuff. And now again, after 4 or 5 years invested in this, it fails again. And previously, it was the company that I was working with, the marketing company of this guy. After 4 years, it failed again. And previously was the Amazon. And it was hard for me to swallow this last time, because I said I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna keep at it. But nevertheless, I ended up stopping it by my own choice. Long story short, I stopped it, and I dived deep into the only thing that I was doing at that time, apart from trading, which was the coaching. I was coaching people, teaching them how to be strikers, how to gain confidence, how to learn how to fight. And then I was only left with that. So I was doing that for a while. And then of course, when life hits you with this kind of stuff, there is lessons to withdraw from this. You sit down, you settle, and try to understand what happened. You see that this is full of lessons, and everything that happens is preparing you for your next chapter, for who you really are. You know, the problems, the mistakes, the challenges that come, the adversity that comes to life is not there to break you, but is there actually to serve as a teacher. It's there to teach you valuable lessons that you will need to learn, sometimes the hard way. Actually, always, I believe, the hard way. In order for you to pass it to others, in order for you to move to your next chapter and to fulfill your duty and purpose in this planet. And this is exactly what happened. All these experiences that I had in the past, all these failures that I had in the past, all this trouble, it taught me so much that nowadays I can use that experience and that strength, that emotional resilience that I have to help and to affect my clients in a positive way. Because I've been through all that, I can actually understand the people that come to me for help, and I can actually influence them because they can feel that I understand them. Because I've been there, I have the strength. They need to overcome their own problems because I overcame a lot of problems of my own. So it all fall into place. You know, I know one guy that he has spent 10 years in jail. Of course, he didn't want, he was, you know, he was into drugs and everything. And he was 10 years in jail. And this 10 years in jail revealed another side of himself to himself. Showed him that he had another side in him there. And he had, in those 10 years, he dived deep into self-development, to the mind. And he came out a completely different person, helping people to be better, to not go astray, to not go the same route he was in. And he says it many times that without those 10 years in jail, he could have never became the man that he is today, because those 10 years made him really tough, really toughened him, really made him strong personality, strong person, mentally and also physically. And now his impact is great. Actually, he's a person that I look up to and I learn from. His name, you must know him, his name is Wes Watson. And so this is what happens. The trouble that you have in life, the bad stuff that you go through, it actually helps you. It actually is a teacher. Another person that I learned from is Yados. And he himself, he got out from his home when he was young, went to another country, dealt with many hardships, and started learning and working for himself, and suffered from lack of money, poverty. There's a lot of disadvantages when you go outside your country and you try to build a life. And he overcame all those challenges. And actually, those challenges, those years of trying to figure it out, built him to become the man that he is today. So our challenges builds us, are here to build us, to make us strong. Okay? So when you face a challenge next time, just know that this is good. There is a good side to it. It's a teacher. If you have this mindset that this is a teacher, this is coming to teach me a valuable lesson, you're gonna be at ease from inside. It doesn't mean that this is gonna be easy. The hardship is not gonna become easy, but from inside you're at peace and you're doing it with a smile. Because you know on the other side you're gonna come out a stronger person. You're gonna come out of it as a stronger person. Okay? So this is very important. We have to make this distinction. We have to understand this. And now, thank God, I'm doing something I'm very proud of, which is I am literally changing people's lives. I have people that come to me with addictions, with lack of self-esteem, with very bad habits, lack of understanding, and in very bad shape. And I literally transformed their lives. I literally, in 6 months, I helped them to create a completely different version of themselves. And this person, if he hadn't met me, and if he had continued, this kind of people, if they had continued going the same way they were going, that way would lead to destruction and death, literally death. But because I have the strength that I have today, because I suffered through my experience, I have the tools and the strength to influence them to change the direction of their life and become a better person. Was it worth it? All this headache that I went through, all the betrayals, the trials, the failures, the wasted time and money, was it worth it? I think yes, it's worth it. Because if I can now help people change their lives, that's more fulfilling than anything in the world. I'm happy that I have paid that price to gain the strength that I have today and the knowledge that I have today, and that I can influence people. And that's the most beautiful thing in the world, is to be on purpose and to do something that you're proud of. This was the message for today. This was the story of today. Tell me what you think. If you have lived a similar situation, if you have a question, please don't be shy. Just write me in the comments. Follow me on my Instagram. You can write me, send me a message, tell me where you're from, what you deal with. Leave me a comment, and I'll always get back to you, make a video about it, or just answer you directly in DMs. I'm here to build a community to help as much people as I can through this free content and through my coaching as well. And so just stick around. This is a good place to be. Let's push each other forward. Excuse my English. Let's go.